Hey everybody, it's Anne Marie. Oh, 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 oh. It's 8:44 p.m. Let's get some messages of clarity for those of you who like it. I thought we would possibly um, see what the shadow and light of the situation is, and then maybe if we're feeling a little razzle dazzle, and I can find the cards because I say what. Okay, yeah, we can see what we need to surrender to the situation. So. Thank you to all four corners of the earth and all four elements. I'm humbled and grateful for your divine light and protection and guidance at all costs and at all times. I call into all my high vibrating ancestors, spirit guides, divine into beings, and sources of light to protect me as we give this message. What is the shadow and light of the situation? And here we are again with self-love and self-loathing, number 27. I just heard, why wasn't nobody love me? Why can't nobody love me? Love me the way I deserve to be loved. Why can't somebody love me the way I love them? That's just exactly what I heard. Sadness and anger, number 22. Love and hurt, number 7. You can't make it up. A lot of love on the table here. I've said this a long time ago and it needs to be said again. Love didn't hurt you. The people who you chose to allow in your life is what hurt you, not love. Love doesn't hurt. Love isn't pain. Love isn't jealousy. Love isn't contentment. Love isn't competing. Love is none of those things. I was having a conversation with a young woman today while I was at work, and she volunteers one day a week to cut the homeless population, the guests that come in there, to cut their hair for free. And I shed a little bit of light on how amazing she was. And one thing I asked her, and I've often asked in a couple of my readings, what inside of you makes you feel so unlovable and so unworthy that you allow people or things to treat you less than or as such? And this is a familiar saying, so it's nothing new. We teach people how to treat us by what we allow, and what we allow will continue. This loathing that's overcome you at times, you're looking at it from a perspective of that you're unlovable and that you're unworthy based on how people have treated you. When you have self-worth and self-love, we don't allow those things, and we don't allow people, places, situations to treat us less than. And you have been hurt a lot. And what Spirit is saying is that take a look back at what love looked like when you were a child, because that may be based on how you perceive and receive love. I'm saying love loosely. If you grew up in a home with fighting or arguing or a lot of cheating or whatever it is, and for your caregivers that were supposed to mold this type of loving relationships, a lot of us didn't see that. And so then we grew up thinking love was hurt. Love was Bonnie and Clyde sticking through it. I'm a stand by my man, or I'm a stand by my woman through her addiction, or I'm a stand by this person no matter what they do to me because I'm a diehard. No, I'm not. Yeah, that's not happening anymore. Not today. And I'm saying that trying to be funny in a sense, though it's not happening anymore today. But I grew up in the 90s. Well, I didn't grow up in the 90s. I was born in the 70s. But, that 90s kind of love. We were, part of it was like that ride or die. And a lot of people can resonate with that. And there's a lot of sadness and a lot of anger inside of you for how people have treated you. And so Spirit is saying, take a look at your childhood and what love looked like. How, whether you knew it or not, by what you saw as a child, because you were just a child. Our brains aren't fully developed until we're 27 if you're a man, and it's like 25 if you're a woman. That's if you haven't had any trauma. So your brain hasn't even been developed. So first of all, give yourself a break. Okay? You're worthy of everything and all the love and joy in the world. Okay? So look at your childhood, your formative years. What did you see? Imagine your caregivers, your parents, whoever cared for you, whether it was grandparents, if you were a foster child. How did that love look? Was love kind? Was love understanding? Or was love conditional? I'll love you if you do this for me. Or you're not worthy of love unless you're doing for someone. And then in turn, you became a people pleaser. Thank you, Spirit. And in turn, you became a people pleaser where you gave and gave and gave and gave and gave, thinking that was love. And then you felt depleted because you didn't get that in return. Yes. It's time for some of you to release that pain and that hurt and stop blaming yourself. Yes, you made these choices. Yes, you invited these people or situations into your life that caused you a lot of sadness, a lot of pain, a lot of self-loathing. But we're here now, and it's never too late to change. It's never too late. When I was in treatment, there was a woman who was 68 years old, and it was like her 17th time trying to get clean. And she had been doing drugs since she was 8 years old. So for 60 years, she was doing drugs. And she kept trying and trying and trying. And from what I understand, she is still clean now to this day. I don't talk to her anymore. But it takes time to undo those things, so give yourself a break. You didn't know any better. You may have been reared by parents that didn't have their own self-love for whatever reason because of their parents and their parents. And so we're here to break cycles. And so that unworthiness and unlovability isn't because you're unworthy and because you're a piece of shit like you've been told. It's because that's what you've learned possibly growing up. And even if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s right now, it doesn't matter. You can relearn love. And I will go to my earthly grave knowing in my heart and soul that love is the answer to everything. But it starts with ourselves. So what choices do you need to start making to start building your own self-love? It just doesn't come one day. You just don't get your hair and your nails done. Ooh, I'm self-care, self-love. Ooh. It's deeper than that. And I'm not trying to, get anybody in their feels about it. But if you are, then you can keep that projection. Do some healing. It's about saying no when you want to say no. It's about recognizing by saying yes to things that you don't want to do is saying no to yourself. It's about putting yourself first for once and not having guilt about it and not being shamed for it. Now, when we go on this self-love journey, this finding worth in ourselves, you will find a lot of people, and I'll speak for myself, damn near everybody that you were around, don't like it when you start to love yourself. Because when you start to love yourself and you start saying no to things that your soul and spirit don't want to do, whether it's just going to the grocery store with one of your friends, or always going over to your auntie's house to help her clean. You don't want to do it because you have no time for yourself during the week or on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is for you. And starting to set those boundaries, because that is a sign of loving yourself, is setting healthy boundaries with people, all kinds of different boundaries. People will show their true colors and know they're not going to be happy with you. So then what happens? It makes you feel 10 times worse that you're doing something wrong for loving yourself. This is 2024. This is year the 8. It's time to start having worth and love for yourself. How do we do that? Again, start saying no to things you don't want to do. It's a slow progress. It's a slow process. It's one little step. You may take a couple steps forward and find yourself, you kind of not fell back, but took a couple steps back or whatever. It's okay. It's your awareness of it. You live to see another day. To love yourself, because you're worth all the love in the world. And when you start to have that love for yourself, you will then start to attract the same type of energies. When we have self-worth and self-love, we attract those energies that also have that as well. Be true to yourself and start to love yourself so that you can get rid of this pain, this anger, this sadness, and this hurt, and stop loathing. I hope that you're healthy and happy, full of joy. I truly do. May you love and be loved. Heal